Hello, and welcome to episode 24 of Dunk's Movie Corner. If you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. If you are new, this is a short kind of recap of everything I've watched media wise, if that's TV, if that's limited series, if that's most likely movies. And I give my thoughts and ratings, and I quickly move on to the next thing. This is definitely in a much more of a companion podcast to the Movie Bros, which is one I do with my brother Hayden, where we pick one movie, watch it, discuss it, ramble, banter, argue, laugh at, or laugh with, depending on the movie. Uh, it's kind of more of a longer form podcast. This is going to be probably like 10, 15 minutes, which is kind of just what I'm looking for. If you do want to check out more about this, this is also available on Amazon as well as Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. And there is also Instagram at Dunk's Movie Corner Pod if you were curious. Without much further ado, let's kind of get into it. I started the week again. I feel like I'm kind of behind on where my weeks start and where my weeks end, as last week ended up being like quote unquote 10 days. This is a little bit shorter, but it's still blurring into next week, so eventually at some point I'll get caught up to a point where it's actually consistent 7 days. Either way, I think I ended last week talking about Godzilla and Roadhouse, so I think I'm starting this week with the 1979 fairly classic. Most people say it's amazing. It has high reviews. It's called Stalker. It's by Andrei Tarkovsky, I think is his name. It was a movie that Hayden and I chose for an episode. If you want, that episode I believe is out by now. Yeah, I think it's out by now. So obviously listen to that for a full review. Visually, there are some nice parts to this. Some of the music, I think the idea could have been cool, but this was so slow. Basically, almost nothing actually happened. Maybe I'll circle back to this at some point, but I know this is such a well-known, established quote unquote classic that I feel so underwhelmed. Like, I gave it a 1.5 stars on Letterboxd out of 5. It did not hit for me as the way I feel like it hit for seemingly literally everyone else that has seen it ever. Um, I'd say watch it, form your own opinion. If you actually liked it, please tell me and tell me why. So many people I know have said, "Oh, you gotta watch it, it's amazing," and I just ugh, what a waste. And it's long. It's like 2 hour, 40 minutes of just nothing. Either way, on the flip side of that, after that, I watched Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul. This came out, I believe, at the very end of last year, 2024. So you can call it that. You can call it a 2025, whatever. This was Netflix because they helped produce Aardman property films, which are things like Shaun the Sheep, Wallace and Gromit, things of like the claymation-y stop-go animation, English stuff. I should preface that the original Wallace and Gromit, like little shorts, and even the Curse of the Were-Rabbit movie that came out, I very much love. They're like very wholesome. I don't know. I like them a lot. Uh, this was okay, like good, not great. There are parts of it that were very fun, but something. And again, Hayden and I have also discussed this as part of the Stalker episode because we just did not have a lot to say about Stalker. But one of our main qualms with this is the bad guy is only really the on-screen bad guy for the last 10 minutes. The rest of it is this AI uh, gnome thing. I see that they're trying to make it more relevant for the time that it's being released, but I feel like that was not what Wallace and Gromit was really meant for. I feel like Wallace and Gromit was meant for kooky, fun inventions, and that it just didn't feel like that. Either way, that was Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul. Probably would give it a 3 out of 5, totally adequate, but nothing. I was like, oh my god, that was amazing. And then from there, I went back to 2013 I don't know why this got on my watch list at some point, but I figured I'd just get out of the way while I was folding clothes / vacuuming the house / doing all my like adulty chore day things. But I watched Knights of Badassdom. This is as dumb as it sounds. I should preface that. This is a like live action role play, like medieval times thing that then they somehow release an actual demon. It's really bad. Not like horrendously bad, but like bad enough to where it's not a good movie. I should just I should just say that. It felt very like sci-fi channel original. Supposed to be a comedy. It was not. It almost felt spoofy, but it took itself seriously. It felt very low budget, which I mean, granted, I'm sure it was very low budget. If you look at the cast and the effects and literally everything about this, I feel like it was made and shot over a weekend. I will say Peter Dinklage is fun. Steve Zahn, I just love Steve Zahn. He's just like a great, just guy. I don't know. I feel like, granted, I think the first thing I saw him, he was like the sidekick in Sahara with Matthew McConaughey, and he was fantastic in that. And he was in White Lotus season 1, was fantastic in that. The guy from Community and of course Ahmed is in this and plays a Ahmed character. One of the McPoyle brothers from Always Sunny is in this and plays, sort of that kind of character. The chick from Serenity, if you are aware of what that is, it was like a space western, both TV show and then movie, is in this. It's kind of a weird, like, C or D actor mashup ensemble. Would not recommend. Was not very fun. I'm sure I bet if I put a group of people together and like sprinkled in some like hey, let's have a drink or two and make fun of this movie while we watch it, it might have been fun. I gave it a 2 out of 5. Like, it could have definitely been worse, but it was definitely not a good movie. Yeah, it's been one of those weeks where I just feel like I'm just not watching a lot of great stuff. From there, I watched the 1986 The Name of the Rose. Now, this is a sort of murder mystery starring James Bond himself. Of course, now I can't think of his name. Sean Connery, excuse me. And then Christian Slater is like 9 or he's probably like 12 in this as his like disciple pupil. He's a Sean Connery's a friar who's investigating some mysterious deaths at a abbey in like the 16th century. It was interesting. I liked it. I didn't love it. Sean Connery is a presence. I will give him that. I was not expecting it. There is a like full on sex scene, like everything. Was not expecting that. Um, yeah, just out of the blue in the middle of the movie, there's like, oh, let's sprinkle that in. I'd say maybe check it out if you have time. I would not not the sex scene. I just mean the movie in general. I think they made a remake. I didn't watch the remake, but this is the original. It's interesting to see Sean Connery doing something that's not James Bond or just very like Sean Connery things. The next thing I want to watch him in is Murder on the Orient Express, the original. He's also in that, and I'm curious to see how he does in that. So yeah, 3 to 5 was fine. I would say good, not great. However, from there, literally during before work / during my break today, while I was hiding in the office. Excuse me. Oh man, it's late. It's almost 1 a.m. I've been really trying to be in bed, lights off, listening to like this meditation thing from like 1 to 9 a.m. Trying to get consistent sleep. That was one of my 2025, not resolutions, but like goals with like clear ways to do this. And I'm definitely not doing that right now, but I know I need to get this done. Because also one of my goals was to be consistent about recording and posting these. Either way, I quote unquote ended this week today by rewatching The Art of Self-Defense. It came out in 2019. I gave it a 4 out of 5. It's actually very good. I like the aesthetics, the poster, the like sort of dark humor, but mostly just like I wouldn't call it a thriller. I don't know. I liked it. I don't want to give too much away because there's sort of twists, sort of not. Just Jesse Eisenberg uh trying to be more masculine and having more self confidence, and then his karate teacher is like low key fucking with him. Like has is I don't want to give too much away. Either way, if you have a chance, I believe that might be on Hulu. I found it on Tubi. Uh, Granted, there's like I feel like a billion streaming services now, so I'm sure it's out there somewhere for free that you can find. Small cast, kind of I wouldn't say like I don't know if it got a broad theatrical release, but if you haven't seen it, it's fun. I would say check it out, especially if you saw A Real Pain, which is written and directed by Jesse Eisenberg. That was released or technically last year, and got a lot of buzz. Um, Maybe not exactly in the same vein, but like, pretty enjoyable, I would say. From there, that's kind of all I had. Again, kind of a weird couple weeks. I've been pretty much any free time that I've had. I've been researching. Like, I just bought a car today because my previous car died. Now I'm switching to okay. Now the roommate slash living situation might be changing in like 2 months, so starting looking at different housing options in the area, and also trying to keep up with all the other things that I said I would do this year. So that goes down to like, uh, making consistent time for multiple different friend groups. Yes, I know, so popular, Duncan. Realistically, it's just like different jobs that I've worked that then friends become out of that, or like childhood friends, or like OG Boy Scout like troop friends. I know that maybe that makes me nerdy, but this is already a movie podcast, so be it. Or like dates, or pottery, photography, or like solo adventures, or things I do with my dog, or family. I don't know. Just I'm trying my best. My calendar is color coded. It is filling up way fast, which is good. Like I'm glad to be busy, but just makes it hard to keep it all straight. However, I guess I think of the Rob Lowe meme where it's from Parks and Rec, where he's like, "Oh, if I keep myself insanely busy and slow, and as long as I don't slow down, and like depression and anxiety can catch up, and the crushing weight of loneliness or what." I wonder if I can find the quote, but it's kind of how I feel. Like I feel like if I'm truly like nothing, I don't know. I don't like free time where I'm doing nothing. Like I'm totally fine relaxing. I can definitely relax, but if there's long periods where like, oh, I'm not doing anything, I feel like in 2023, 2022, there was some of that, and I really was not a good space for me to be in. That's why I think 2024 was much better because I think I utilized time a lot more, and I felt better about myself and better about what I was doing, my productivity. And no, I don't think anyone should be defined by like their productivity or their job, especially. It does help make me feel better generally. Sorry, that was a bit of a side note ramble, but again, yeah, Art of Self Defense. It is a dark comedy. I did like it. It is a dark comedy. I did like it a lot. I feel like I've told multiple people about this, and no one has heard about this. I feel like Jesse Eisenberg just kind of does these like random, not known projects, and then they just come out, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't even realize that was a thing," and here they are. And either way, that's kind of more or less, I feel like everything I had to say for this sort of whatever you want to call it week. I now have a car, which is great. I will hopefully be back to semi-normal. This is when I'm watching movies or not schedule. Again, if you have movies you think I should be watching, favorites, sometimes I ask coworkers or friends or pets or family or crushes or whatever, what their favorite movie is or I don't know. I mean, anyone, because I feel like all walks of life and backgrounds and things like that, people have interesting takes on like, oh, you should be watching this, or oh, have you seen this? That kind of thing. It's just kind of an interesting thing to kind of bring up with people. And yeah, just like I said at the top, if you haven't, check out the Movie Bros. That's the one with my brother Hayden. We post weekly. This is again also supposed to be posted weekly, but it's more of a loose thing. The Movie Bros is a lot more consistent. We also post bonus episodes around holiday themes. It's a lot more fun if you're looking for something to listen to while you're at the gym or while you're driving or while you're sitting or standing or walking or anytime you might actually listen to something or even have it on and not really listen. I'd still love your view count as we are trying to get to a point where I feel like we are eons and miles away from this, however you want to word it, but after a certain amount of view counts and things like that, we can monetize. And no, I'm not saying this is going to be the end all be all of like money making, but it would be, I don't know, I think it'd be kind of cool to be able to have this. And even if it's like, oh, here's $1, would be kind of cool. Not that I want you all to have to listen to ads or anything like that, but yeah, I feel like I think it'd be just like a cool, just like a checkpoint, I guess, for either this, most likely the Movie Bros. And I have been thinking also, so maybe also again, side ramble, whatever, about starting a scuba podcast with my scuba friends. It would be the Scubuds podcast. That's what we call ourselves. That's our Discord channel that we started years ago. Actually, previously it used to be a Facebook group chat, and before that, a text group chat. Either way, there's like 25 of us. I feel like that'd be a fun thing to talk about. Favorite dives, dive sites, equipment, travel, animals, photography, whatever, students, because we all are all either dive masters or instructors. Those are like, I don't know, educators. And yeah, maybe I'll see if I can get that going. Some point, I think I might try later this month when we're all together for a little scuba retreat. Yeah, it's a full year for old Dunk, and hopefully everyone else everyone else had a good New Year's and along for the ride. And keep tuning in, and I'll see everyone next week.